So it was about time that I showed you a little bit of me dry stone walling on this job. So there's some things to keep in mind. I don't know if you can see, but this here has got concrete behind. So that's what you want to do. It only needs to be a weak mix, about 6 to 1, 8 to 1. That's what it should look like. It's a damp, kind of damp mix. It's almost like screeding. And what you're doing is you're putting it at the back of the wall there. It doesn't have to be pretty, as you can see. And I use sort of bits of old slab as well, just to build it up, because this is all going to be taken back to the top of the wall. The soil is going to be leveled, so you won't see any of that. Basically, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, this is what I've done so far. This is my foundation stones, and it's going around that circle there. This is some that I've finished. There's a step coming through here, so that's yet to be finished, but I want to get obviously my machines out. So this is the bit that I've done already. As you can see, the coping stone along the top there, and it looks pretty good. Comes into a point here, and there's a reason for that, but I'll show you further footage of that when we get to that point. So anyway, back to the job, because I digress. So hopefully you'll be able to see this. So you've got a space here, and you want to fill that with a stone. So you're looking for something like that, something with a flattish face. It works best. Sometimes you have to chip them around a little bit. So that will go in there. Now, be mindful when you get bits like that, you're creating a bit of a problem. So because it would be very difficult to get a stone to sit in there. So you'd be best, and sometimes it doesn't work. It's fairly predictable, this granite, but sometimes it chips off in great lumps and you have to start again. But generally, the golden rule is a piece of stone will fit somewhere in this wall, so generally you're not putting it down. And it's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle, really. So you can see that bit there. Now that might go in, but probably have to just trim this up a little bit here. Sometimes you get to the last little bit and then it'll crack away. Right, so that's working pretty well. And then what you do is you put your damp mix behind there. And I tend to feed it right in between. If the rock's rocking a little bit, just feed something underneath it. Feed a little bit of the mortar underneath it. Sometimes you get little chips as well, like that. And usually you'll find something just to go in there. The other thing to keep in mind as well is that you want to bond over, so you want to bridge from, you don't want bits of rock in line like this, so putting that there is a no-no in dry stone wall, in building in general, in brickwork. Bonding over is, you see the brickwork here, it's bonded over, so the brick is sitting halfway across the other one, and that just makes the wall such a lot stronger. So that's bonding over. Okay, so that won't go there, but it would go there. But you can see it's a little bit low, but that's usually okay if you've got little bits and pieces, so you could probably build it up like that. What I want to do now is I want to just have a bit that will go in here. And that's just a little bit too high. Sometimes you find that they're just too short, like that. But sometimes, if you're clever, you can find a little slither that will bring it up to height. So let's try that. Yeah, so that'll go in there. And see how that's angled like that. The face is actually angled back that way, but there's just a little bit sticking out. So you just take that off. And you see the string line, that's pretty critical as well. So what I do is I build up from point to point to my level. So I take a level across, and then I have a line, I have a string line in between those points, so that you're not constantly measuring. I'm not keen on that bit. So again, move it along and it will fit somewhere else. Again, just a little chip off of there, and it's quite forgiving, although you can see it's cracked off there. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't need to be super precise. Just make sure that you're coming in nicely. And I'll show you as well the top of the wall. It wants to be about, you want to be about 250. You can just get a decent size coping stone on top. So yeah, just make sure that it's quite nice and wide. Some guys wouldn't be quite as fussy, but I really like to have quite a tight wall. I don't like to see huge great gaps, because this is a garden wall. It's not like a dry stone wall you might find in a field. You get away with those big gaps, but people notice if it's on their garden, obviously, or in their wall. So just poke that behind. So sometimes I measure, so that's about, well, it's not about, it's 3 inches. So if you look around at your stone pile, you might find something that's 3 inches, or for those people that are purists, 75 mil. So there's one about 75 mil. So we're good to go on that. It's just a wee corner that I don't like. It's a little bit, yeah, I think I'm going to just chip a bit more off, just bring it back a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit, the rock has turned up there. It's just a little bit proud, that. It might go down a little bit. Yep, that's it. Happy with that. Yeah, look at that. That's going to go in there. And it's just leaning back a little bit, so all you need to do is just pile a little bit at the back there. And then you want some little bits on the top here. So what does that look like? Yep, happy with that. if I chip off that edge, now that's just chipped off a little bit too much, but it doesn't really matter because all you need to do is find a little chip that goes in like that. So let me just show you. You can see how the wall is actually leaning. It's leaning back that way, and that's really what you want for a retaining wall, because there's a tremendous amount of pressure. Even though it's a lowish bed, there's a tremendous amount of pressure behind this wall. So there's two reasons for putting the concrete here, or the screed mix, is it just secures the wall. I've seen pure dry stone walls with no cement at all, and sometimes the pressure just pushes them forward. So this is kind of belt and braces. You put this mixture at the back and it holds the wall together. Yeah, so that's it. So I'll show you the work as I progress, but that's basically how you do dry stone walling. It's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle, but very, very satisfying work. So I'll check out for now, but we'll catch you later.